Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to our little competition. That's a dumb intro. Let's start that over. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to HoT Online. I still don't know if you're supposed to say HoT or HoT. But anyway, we're on this map on this online farm viable object map where we have multiplayer manager, and it is Sim versus the world. That's me. And it's versus the world. If you're new to multiplayer manager, it's basically it automatically sorts out finances into why am I in third gear at max RPM? I just need to not talk. What was I saying? We are. What am I doing? This is. Oh yeah. I was saying something. Let's see, the things that have changed since last episode, we have finished shucking that cornfield. The rain, if you, in case you were just joining us or forgot, the rain just put a stop to harvesting that field, so we had to stop. Instead, we are going to go on over here, and we're going to harvest another field that has sunflowers. It is not mine, but the farmer is actually, he's out on the server right now, Dylan, but he was AFK most of this season, and he knew that, so he put his farms up for, most of his fields, all of his fields actually, up for people to grab at a 50-50 split. So I did all of the work, and he gets 50% of the sunflowers. And I forget whether or not I was going to pay him or put the sunflowers in to, half the sunflowers into his hopper. And, well, I forget that, but I think the easiest thing to do is just, yeah, that's right. So the easiest thing to do is I'm just going to put all of the sunflowers into his hopper, and then, well, not hopper, into his silo, and then we will go and get our half later. So the other thing that changed is I sold our Unimog, and I just about sold this, not this tractor, but I just about bought a Series 9. And I loved my Warrior Series 7. I had that, it was actually before the, before this, well, I don't know. So I guess the fans that have been playing this for a long time, they will know and understand that the series has been kind of a delayed start because we had a problem with seasons, and I was also doing the Lone Oak episode, and how to explain this? I always make things more complicated than they are. We have the oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so I'm calling episode 1 basically of this series. It's essentially a fresh start, even though it's really not, because we had half of another season go before our save game file got corrupt, and we had to get rid of seasons, and then we played the rest of the season out until everybody harvested their crops without seasons, and here we are back with seasons year 1. But anyway, during that time is what I'm trying to say. During that time, I had a Series 7 Warrior, and it was my favorite tractor ever. I love the look, I love the feel of it. I really enjoyed the sound, and, well, mostly the looks. I didn't want to sell it, but I decided that I needed to downsize so that I could afford more pigs. It was kind of a stupid start, but I have always started with small equipment. I've always had to work my way up, but it feels like by the time I get big, we're moving on to another server, and I never actually get to enjoy that big equipment. And I wanted to do that for once, so I started with the 7. I know for a lot of you guys, it's probably not that 7. There's probably not that big of a start. At only, what, 220 horsepower or so. But anyway, I wanted to start with that because it's what I wanted to do, and I've never done it before. And Farming Simulator 19 is coming out soon, and I'm probably not going to get to do it again. So I wanted to start with something bigger, and there's a Series 9 mod on the server that I really want, and I almost bought. And right before I started recording, it's funny, I sold my Unimog, I went back and forth with my Aisher about 5 times before I figured out, I drove down the lane to sell my Aisher. I was like, no, we need to keep this. And then I drove down it again. I was like, no, we need to sell this to get the Series 9. And then I went back home and I was like, no, okay, I'm going to buy the Series 9, leave the Aisher at home, because we're going to need a front loader. If the Series 9 I don't think can do front loading, and so we're going to need that anyway. And then I said, no, let's just buy the Series 9. So I drove the Aisher back down to the store, and then I was just like, no, I just gotta have patience until the fall, and then I think I'll be able to do that, because we're gonna cut in front of this other car here. Not the fall, it is the fall. Once we get past the autumn here, I think I'll be able to. I think I just saw someone moving up there. Oh yeah, it looks like he's fertilizing the edge of his field. I think that I'll be able to buy it. I need to make sure, because there might be, like, for example, I need to run numbers on these sunflowers, whether or not I need to buy these from Dylan or not. And that's gonna, oh, I did, didn't I? Okay, well, that's not the end of the world. It looks like we're gonna hook back up and pull around to the other side. I'm a dummy. Big fat dummy. Okay. There we go. And let's see if we can do this without killing anything. Awful close. We're gonna, oh no, I wasn't paying attention. Oh man. Stupid me. And let's, oh boy. I probably should have put the header on the Aisher tractor while I'm getting in here, but that's no matter. Okay, so let's kind of back it off to the side a little. Nope, that's a little bit too much. Get back a little bit more, and then there we go. That's a little bit too much. Man, these trailers with a short tongue are really hard to back up. I think, no, that's too much. Okay, so now we got to go forward, and I'm just trying to get it off to the side enough so that Dylan, the farmer who owns this land, can get by. And I think that's pretty good, right about there. That should be pretty good. Okay, we're happy with that. Let's go get our header. Whoop, don't want to. Okay, I'm still in backup mode. And let's try those tiny mirrors, not headers. Those tiny mirrors are basically worthless. Look how small they are. Oh man, those are so small. But anyway, we're gonna go plant start over. That was dumb. We're gonna go harvest sunflowers, and it's gonna be awesome. Now, one thing I don't know is looking at the way this header is. It looks like just a, well, that looks essentially like a cutting header with some extra feeding metal on the front there. Feeder slots, I'm not sure what you would call those, but some extra bars up there attached. But other than that, it looks like just your normal stock standard cutting header. So I would imagine we can harvest these at pretty much any angle, I'm thinking. I mean, if you get at too much of an angle, you obviously can't go around too much of a curve. I guess you're gonna have to try to follow the rows around a curve. Otherwise, I can see that. Well, never mind. I was thinking, if for example, if you imagine a field that's drilled in somewhat of a rows, right? Because you drill this you plant this with a planter, not you don't drill it like 1.5 inch rows or whatever you do wheat. But anyway, the point is, what I was trying to say is, if you get one of these off to the side and you start turning, it's gonna cause the stalk to bend and snap. And I'm thinking of corn, but the seed's all the way on the top here. I don't know. You probably don't want that to happen too much, because then you'll lose a lot of the seeds. I would imagine you would probably have to harvest sunflowers somewhat similar to how you harvest corn, but probably just a little bit less precise. What I'm saying is it's probably in between corn and wheat, but I could be totally wrong with that. Never seen sunflowers in real life. I don't really know. At least with this type of header, it seems like we would need to do some sort of thing like that. Where we're basically going with the direction that we planted. I mean, it's really dependent on the headers. So even someone who farms sunflowers now, unless they farm with these older headers, they might not know that answer because, for example, case in point, I remember growing up, we had a soybean header that actually looked like a corn header. It was almost identical, except for it had little ribbons that essentially snapped off the stalk of the soybean and carry it up to the header, to the cylinder. And I mean, in that way, it was exactly like a row crop, because it was, and we had to harvest it just like you harvest corn. So that's it's just one of those things that really depends on how you plant it, I guess, and what equipment you're using. If I remember the modern headers, I mean, we can just look in the picture. Here's what I'm talking about. The modern headers have a much shorter, well, maybe not. No, I was thinking on modern headers that I guess the teeth part is a lot shorter, but it doesn't look like it. Yeah, see that? I mean, it'd be hard to know without actually buying it, but it seems like it's just actually about the same length out there in front of the sickle that this header is. So, I mean, in that regard, it looks kind of like the same technology. The only thing I would imagine that you could do, especially with a crop like this, is make it so that it was, oh boy, we're going to have to, you can make it so that it is, let's see, there we go. You can make it so that, third time's the charm, fourth time. You could make it so that it was a belt fed instead of the cylinder there on the header that goes roundy, spinny to be technically correct. Because you'd have much header loss. You'd have less header losses with the belt instead of the spinny. But those belts are so expensive. Those belt headers, drapers. Anyway, we are harvesting sunflowers. Man, does this combine fill up fast or what? This is insane. Okay, let's just harvest somewhat to a right angle here, just because I don't know how else to do this. And then I think we're just gonna treat this like we would with soybeans. You can't cut in too sharp because if you think about turning, you're gonna be pushing over the. If you turn too sharp, you're gonna be pushing over the crop there on the left. But actually, that didn't feel too bad. We'll just continue on. I did have a comment, I think it was Model Elisher, who, I was wondering at that wheat header, it was several episodes ago, I was wondering why the wheat header was so huge, or not huge, I can't talk, why it was offset, and I couldn't figure it out, but he came up with the idea that, well, you know what, this header's offset as well. He said it was because the auger, if we put up the auger there, it's so that you don't have to have such a long auger. Do I want some help? You want to get these crops off quick? Well, you still got stuff to do. I'm not slowing you up yet. 1 second. All right, I think we've got that worked out. I just wanted to finish talking with him before I continued on and get interrupted. That minimizes the cuts and whatnot. But anyway, this is gonna be a sunflower harvesting. You know what? That reel looks really low. Now let's raise that up as much as we can. And okay, here we go. We are cutting sunflowers. And I think we'll do the same thing down here. I don't want to have to turn sharp if I can avoid it. So let's just go on out here. And we'll do a right angle turn. And you know what? It's been quite a while since I have done a time-lapse video. I think I don't know. Maybe I should do a time-lapse here. We'll see. Should I just do a time-lapse? Has anybody ever done a time-lapse from inside the cab? Let's try a time-lapse video from inside the cab only. And this is gonna be tough, but we're gonna try it and see how it goes. and how it looks. I'm going to try to keep the camera centered as much as possible. I'm going to have to look to the left when dumping, but hopefully that doesn't give you too much seasickness when I do that. Anyway, I will see you guys on the other side after this time lapse. So, until then, yeah, I'll see you then. Hey everybody, I am sorry, but that time lapse did not work out like I thought it, like I remembered. Probably something to do with I'm recording at 60, or I used to record at 60 when I did those, and when you compress it from there, it seems fine. But at 30 FPS, which personally I can't tell the difference between 30 and 60 uploaded to YouTube, watching from a YouTube player after they do their post-processing. So I've been uploading to YouTube at 30 because I didn't think it made a difference, but apparently it makes a difference when you do a time lapse. It makes everything blurry. I think that's the problem I've been having, but as I will explain in a second, I don't think it matters anyway because, well, I forget where I talk about it, but in short, with my current setup, I do most of my off-camera work on streaming on Twitch anyway, so there's no real point to waste a whole bunch of time with a time lapse that takes up time that I could be having more fun streaming, if that makes sense. And if it doesn't, just I'll probably explain it a couple more times, and hopefully you'll understand it later. Anyway, that's all. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the blank screen simulator. Back to the episode now. Okay guys, well that should end the time lapse here. Looks like we've got, I'm feeling, you know, originally I was going to make the time-lapse go a lot longer, but I am kind of feeling tired and hot and like I need to get up and walk around. So I think that this will end the time-lapse, and then probably after we get this load, we'll end this video. And I will probably stream a little bit later today. Of course, you're not going to know that, but I typically, my schedule is going to be, I'm going to try to do a YouTube episode every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which means I will be possibly, I should say, I guess, streaming the so-called off-camera work on Twitch on those, you know, basically the day before is when I'm going to be recording. And yeah, in general, I don't generally like to do time lapses because it's just, since I do like to stream, it feels like it's just a waste of time that I could be streaming because I really enjoy streaming, and time lapses are just wasted time essentially. You know, instead of being able to interact with people and people that enjoy watching my content, or just random strangers that happen to find me on Twitch and give me a little bit of fuel to keep up the farming. I came in a little bit fast there. But, you know, give me a little bit of fuel to keep up the farming simulator playing. I don't know what I'm trying to say there. But give me some fuel to keep on playing farming simulator is basically what I'm trying to say. And, you know, I can do that with Twitch in the wasted time instead of putting together, you know, I just wasted like an hour recording that time lapse, and that could have all been time I spent streaming. So yeah, the time lapse was fun. I don't even think I'll stream now because I'm just kind of feeling a bit tired. I have found out that I've gotten allergies, but I've taken allergy pills and I seem to have gotten a lot better. Let's go back in a second. I've gotten a lot better since I realized that and took a few pills, and yeah, I've never had allergies before, so it's a little bit of a shock to me. But anyway, that's going to be the norm. I don't think I'll normally do these time lapses. It just feels like way too much wasted time. It's like, man, I could have been streaming this whole time. I don't know. It's just kind of, it's a lot less boring for me. I know some people like time lapses, but well, there's a lot of other good guys out there that do time lapses. So anyway, I will probably say goodbye for now. Dylan had to go. He was the other guy here harvesting the crops with me. And I tried to stay in first-person view for the most part during that time lapse. There were a couple times I forgot, and I went to third person. So that's just, that's just a whoopsie. But I do hope that you enjoyed that because it's probably not going to be too many time lapses, just for the reasons I already said. But anyway, I thank you all for stopping by and checking me out if you're new, and following or keeping on that's Twitch. Subscribing on YouTube, I I always get those backwards. Yeah. Anyway, I appreciate it, any of my followers, and yeah, I hope you guys had a good time. Be sure to ask any questions, comments, etc. that you might have about. Oh boy, we missed a little spot there. And I do always try to respond to people that comment to me as quick as possible. And as long as I'm small enough to be able to do that, I will continue to do that. So that's going to be a thing. I will see you guys later. We'll probably call it at the end of this row. I'm getting hot. I should have turned down the AC before I started this, but it's starting to get a little bit hot right now. Anyway, I thank you all for everything. I will see you later. Have a great day. Have a great... this will be released on Friday. Yeah, have a great Friday, everybody. Anyway, I'll see you later.